It's sort of when you make material, you kind of set the timer, and it's like, okay, it's fresh now, and you sort of watch the timer count itself down. What I have found is that the bigger a story is, if it's the big story of your life, that timer is not going to count down so easily. But you do need to keep refreshing. I think to use your computers as a metaphor on this stuff for your material is a really great idea. Just refresh the page. You know, that's one thing that people really forget to do, refresh the page. You know, the material, if you liked it enough to do it a few times, there may be more there, and there's a certain laziness in not refreshing because the gig, and you know, and you have that stuff about the stocking, and you're going to do that, and blah, 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 and then it's like an hour before the gig, and you haven't done the work, and you haven't done the refreshing, and now it's too late to do the refreshing. You can't do it on stage, and you counted on being able to do it, and it's really not that good a gig anyway, and should you really work on it? It's just this little night at the thing, and, you know, shouldn't you really be, like, working on your audition for things? I mean, these are all realistic, you know, and then there you are, and it's the night, and, like, you didn't refresh, and now you're on stage, and you hate it. And now, guess what? It's tanking.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
And so how do you refresh?
So you have to... What I want you to do is live more in material and less in the gig and the expectation of what can come from the big gig and how big it is or how small it is. And just remember that you're working on the material. And this is where the steady drip of constant work comes, is that if every day you've got to show up and answer to your notebook or your file and you're always working on your material, then on Monday you just go, well, I have a gig on Friday, let me look at that piece and ask myself what's funny about it. And now it's in your head all day. You only worked on it for an hour, but you're really thinking about it rather than putting it down and not picking it up. And I know it's really hard, you know, to do that because there's a million things to do. And sometimes you do want to step away from something. So, you know, but then work on some other thing. So that's where is it connected to my other work comes in, because, you know, if, for instance, you have a piece about being a photographer, then as you're doing your photography work, you're noticing things and it's adding into the material, and you're doing the material, and then blah, blah, blah. It's all connecting. That's the main, you know, because I think this is more important than it used to be because of the nature of how life is now, because life is so hard and so challenging, and we're all, you know, we've all got, like, the 7 plates are spinning and the 15, you know, bank accounts are draining, and the, you know, and how do you have enough, and when will you have the time? And, you know, once you start to see how everything is connected to each other, everything will feed each other. And as it feeds each other, it will be easier for you to sustain each project. These are incomplete answers.